So thank you for coming out. My name is Anthony Hall. I'm a part of Community Justice Initiative, organization that's circled around justice, the injustices in this community. We formed back in May 17th for Justice for Naila. That was a 10-year-old girl who was wrongfully detained and handcuffed by law enforcement, and in which we still have not received justice for that incident. We called this press conference in light of what took place, what was released on Wednesday and after the protesting up to yesterday. It's very important that we understand why we're doing this in this community. In solidarity with Free the People WROC, CJI is with them. We've been, most of us, all of us here have been at the protest since Wednesday. And we want the community to know that these protests are very peaceful. We start out singing, dancing, eating, fellowshipping, meditating before we take off to march. Last night was horrendous. We were met by a sub-military group. RPD militarized on peaceful community folk. We have to understand that. RPD has turned this thing into a war. Last night was a war setting, a war zone. RPD did not let up at all. Understanding why the community is upset. Going back to March 23rd, when Daniel Prude was killed by law enforcement in this community. The footage and the information was withheld from the community for 6 months by the chief and the mayor. It was released earlier this week on Wednesday, and the community since has been outraged. The family and Daniel deserves justice. We appreciate the Attorney General getting ready to convene a grand jury, and we know that was because of the people here in Rochester. We appreciate the protesters coming from all over the county and all over the state in solidarity for this family. And as we also address injustices and attack racism in this community, we want the community to stand with us. Your sons, your daughters, your fathers, your grandmothers, grandfathers, uncles, aunts, cousins are at these protests. And we're being attacked. We're being attacked. Not only attacked, RPD are doing tactics that are illegal. These pepper balls that they're shooting at people are supposed to be shot at our feet or a person's feet so they can explode on impact on the ground, not hitting people in their face. I was hitting my face with a pepper ball. The community should be outraged. In solidarity with Free the People WROC, there are a list of demands that they have put forth, and the community has accepted those demands. And I'm going to say some of those demands. Freeing the people. On May 30th, people was arrested or allegations were put forth, the looters, whatever. Those people and charges need to be dropped. Lovely Warren, Mayor Lovely Warren, the Chief, Laron Singletary, Adam Bello, the Deputy Mayor, James Smith, all needs to resign. Sandra Dorley as well needs to resign. For their inconsistencies, their lies, and their betrayal to the citizens of this community. It's very important that we understand this. All these cover-ups, everything, what led us here. The community is outraged, and it's not going to stop. It will not stop.
So we dismantle systematic racism.
It will not stop. We're not going to allow RPD to scare us, to bully us, And they think that because they're militarizing on citizens, unarmed citizens, SWAT gear, tactical gear, dogs, tanks, flash bombs, tear gas, rubber bullets, pepper balls. This cannot go on. We need citizens, like-minded people, elected officials to come out, stand against this, stand with us, lock arms. Clergy folk, come out, speak against this. This is about liberation. And if one person is not liberated, no one has liberation. So we stand here at this plot because 16 million was voted on for a new police station right here. And yet the mayor knew what took place. 6 months ago, the mayor knew what took place, and she still pushed for a new police station right here. That tells you something, community. That tells all of us something. Where's her interest at? Who does she care about? This is the impoverished neighborhood. That money can go to this neighborhood. Changing the narrative. With that, like I said, my name is Anthony Hall. We're going to allow other CGI people to come forward and speak, and then we'll take questions.
All right, guys. I don't know the rules, but I don't care about this one. I'm sorry. I'm going to take my mask off real quick because I feel like you won't be able to understand me. My name's Leticia Estacio, and I am a local defense attorney. I have been hesitant to say anything about this because you guys are inherently racist and biased in your reporting, and you like to make it the Leticia show, and that's not what this is about. So it doesn't even matter if I had a truth, I don't get to speak it here. But this is personal because I have a black son, and that changes everything. Because on March 23rd, 2020, 3 RPD officers literally held a mentally ill man down until he died. And that was pretty well known by people who could have done something about it. And I don't care about their paychecks, really, and I don't care about their salaries. And what I care about is that we give all of this lip service to knowing about inherent racism and systematic bias and all of these things that we have to change, and we have a meeting and then we form a program and we appoint some people, and you knew that 3 police officers. Now I'm going to tell you why it's personal, because every black mother's worst nightmare is finding out that her child, her son usually, was murdered by the police, and he's going to be tried for his own murder. Because it's going to be his fault. It's just a question of when it's going to be his fault. And she knows, because we have this perverse idea in this society of what justice is, right? That she'll never receive justice. Not if the police are the perpetrator. She knows that that's not even a possibility. So she lost her child, and she lost the ability to even properly mourn the loss, because it's her fault for raising this kind of child in the first place. And you guys knew that these killers were policing over our babies. You knew that they could assert their dominance and authority over my son for being outside, and you knew that his life was at risk, and you didn't do a thing. You get mad when we laugh, you get mad when we joke, you get mad when we dance. You want me to cry? I don't want to cry, because this is not pain, this is fury. You want me to smile because Jesus helped you if you see my other face. You want me to be happy for you because you want me to wear this mask because you rely on it for your protection, okay? But I'm not playing if you're going to let my baby die. You had the authority. And I don't care about none of y'all jobs, really, I really don't. I don't care about what none of y'all do. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's life. That's not my goal. So I try to be quiet and just support where I can. But you put all of our children at risk. You literally put all of our kids' lives at risk. This was not a guess. This was not a maybe. This was not a is. There's a tape. There's a tape. I don't care if you pay these people. I don't care what you do with these people. Really, to be honest with you, that's a question or a conversation for another day. Let the brevity of what you have done, the risk that you have put your community at, sit with you for a second. And I'm sorry, uncomfortable white people, but I'm not that sorry. I hope you can hear me, because you can never, ever hear me. So maybe if I flip all this shit over, you can hear. I don't know. But I'm tired of talking, because this is not a conversation that we can have for a long time. Because if not Daniel Prude, if Daniel Prude, then maybe not George Floyd. You guys don't care about us, and that's okay, because we care about us. And if you want to pretend that these protests are violent, then I'm not going to even feed into your fallacies. What I'm going to say to you is that if I throw, or if a person out of 3,000 people throws a water bottle at an officer in riot gear, and you think that means that he gets to attack me with chemical warfare, you're insane, and you're not the type of person I want to talk to. And if you want to talk to me about your effing tax dollars, then tell me why you're spending probably at least $1 million a night to attack the citizens that are infuriated that you made us pay a man to murder one of our own.
Talk on it. Come on.
Because you'd rather arrest all of us than 3 of them, because when you tell us that no one is above the law, you mean no black people are above the law. All of the white people in power here are above the law, and you show us every chance you get.
Every single time. Every time.
Yeah.
But that's not even what we're talking about. You endangered us all, and continue to endanger us all every night. That's your apology? You continue to waste our tax dollars waging war against us. Do you hear us? We don't want you. We are not trying to fight you. You killed us. You killed us. You started this fight. And that is the worst of the aggressions. We're not talking about all the stuff you do to us on a regular and consistent basis because we get on your nerves. We're not even going to talk about that. You killed us. Like, you started it. You started it, and you said you were sorry, and then you came out with chemical warfare. You're not sorry. You're attacking us, and you've been attacking us, and you're creating stations so you can attack us comfortably in our homes. You're kicking us out and killing us? Like, there's nothing we can do? You want to bet? You want to bet? Because you know what? You guys, I'm not the only black mama out here. And I bet you that you ain't seen nothing yet.
No.
I don't know everything, but I know this community. And you don't. That's the problem. You don't. You come here, you tell us what to do, you tell us how to do it, you tell us when to do it, and you don't know us.
This is what we're talking about.
And you don't care to know us.
No.
So if you don't want to have a peaceful conversation, I don't know that you want to have any other conversation, but there's a conversation that's going to be had. You don't tell somebody, I'm going to shoot at you all night, I'm going to degrade you all night, I'm going to spit on you, I'm going to drag members of your team away. You're going to watch as we belittle and degrade you in your own neighborhood after we murdered you on your dime, and you're paying for this too. And when you all leave, do it peacefully. Don't touch anything here and just go home. We'll take care of it eventually. And if you do something we said don't do, you'll get arrested before the murderers that you're out here mad about.
They tried to murder you too, Judge.
Yes, they did. Inhumane.
You try to murder us all the time. That's why we dance and we sing. It's not because we don't know pain. It's because we don't know anything else. Must be nice to know a difference, huh?
It's our spiritual. We connect them.
Go ahead, baby. I'm all set here.
It's all right. We connect them with great energy. We need that energy. We need our people to have the right energy. So when we are coming at people who are using war on us and waging on us and creating genocide on us, and I'm gonna let you know I'm Ava Savanelle Bay. I'm out here. I have 8 children, 5 boys, all my children well educated. No, excuse me, they have erudite lessons. They have not been told to do anything. They have been taught, shown, and they're well progressive. They have a whole team that's progressive, and we plan on being more progressive in our community because we're going to show our people how to be dependent on themselves, how to depend on one another, because we don't need any outsiders to give us anything. We're the ones who built every single thing around here. We come in people's jobs and we make their jobs better. We know their jobs better than they know their jobs. They ask us to train their managers because we know it better, and we're not allowing none of that to happen anymore. We're in control of this. We're in control of the city. We're going to be in control of all the cities. We're going to take everything back, and anybody who doesn't like it can go back to their country. This is our country.
I have a question for you, Ms. Savanelle Bay.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Naila's law.
Well, May 17, my daughter was arrested along with my husband, my son who was 21, and my daughter-in-law who was 21 also. And they were being harassed constantly. We've been constantly harassed over and over again, targeted. The Rochester Police Department came onto the highway as highwaymen without authority. No one gave them permission to be on that highway, and they were in pursuit on the highway as statesmen. I don't understand how any protocol procedure is allowing a city municipality to be on the expressway highways acting as statemen. That's number one. So they were out of their official capacity anyways. Second of all, my daughter Naila was put in handcuffs, and she did not want to get out of the car because she was afraid to get out of the car. I told her to stay in the car and wait for me, and I was on my way. And when I arrived to the scene, they already had took my child out the car, ripped her out of it because she was afraid to get out. She was scared of them. She told, I'm not getting out this car. And she was obeying the orders of her mother, because the first order is the mother. The first order is the mother, and I am her natural law mother. And when I tell my child to do something, no state, nobody gets involved when it comes down to my child, because I have dominion and I know how to be competent enough to take care of that child. Now, second of all, my daughter was put in handcuffs, and they were put on so tight. They rode around with my child and took her to the precinct saying that she was under arrest for obstruction of governmental, a 10-year-old, obstruction of governmental. They say they arrested, or they detained her because of safety reasons, because they were afraid she would run into the expressway. They had no business being on the expressway first and foremost, and they should have left her in a car where it was safer and then waited for someone like myself to come and grab her. But when I arrived on the scene, they refused me to be able to obtain my child. I asked for my child. The officer, Michael Linger, what's his name? No, Linger. Which was a lieutenant or sergeant, says he puts his glove on, if you don't get away from this car, you'll be arrested. At what point in time do we really get a chance to protect our children? They have the right to protection under the Declaration of the Child's Act of 1959. If y'all don't know, you need to go ahead and look that up. Our children have the right to education, to know who they are. They're not being taught who they are in these schools. So that's a problem. That's a breach of contract. Okay, now my daughter Naila's law, we need to pass that, because if they're saying they are put handcuffs on children for safety reasons, then obviously they're not equipped to know that when you put chains on a child, that it's going to cause a traumatic effect for the rest of their life. And she now has PTSD, and she now is going through different struggles in mental health, and I can't even take her to anyone's hospital because of all affiliations with the police departments, with the ambulance. They all work together. And when that happens, CPS and these people who want to make the parents seem as if they're the criminals, now we have a problem. We have more than a problem. And this is where we're dealing with systematic issues where it's racial, because everybody's benefiting off the backs of our children, off the backs of our people, and even the hospitals making you sign a document that you'll be willing to give away your airship. Why are they putting that in the paperwork? They must know something we don't know. They must know that we are the true heirs to this land, and that's how they took over the Algonquin land, the nine miles of strong track. That's our people. Our people is the Algonquin Moors who had that. And they said, oh, we took this. They put it in our face, we took this. Now that's savage behavior.
So, with that being said, we're gonna take questions.
This is an emotional time for protesters, as you've seen tear gas, pepper balls, glory. And I did see witnesses when I was out there. Some protesters were passed out. You know how many are hospitalized at this time?
At this time, we don't know how many are hospitalized.
Over 30 people were arrested. Were one of those people organizers?
No.
During this protest, what do you guys actually really think about this? Do you think the police should calm it down with the tear gas and pepper balls being deployed at protesters?
Definitely. I definitely believe that, we all believe that as this protest will continue, law enforcement job is to protect not a building, not a piece of land. Their job is to protect us. So as long as we're doing this peacefully, they need to stop it. They need to cease.
Nobody gonna fight. Also, we know from Birmingham, Alabama in May of 1963 that a whole lot of militarization was used to put the people down, even high school kids, right? That's what we know from history. Especially the media, you guys have a lot of high-power research capable of supporting this point and bolstering it. What's the point? The point is militarization clearly hurts people. You guys have heard of Ferguson, Missouri, have you not? During Ferguson, and around that time, about 38 people died, right? Look it up, or maybe you guys already noticed. This is spawned by militarization. You guys get in this army gear, they must think it's cool to put on the mask and use all the tear gas, and this, that, and the third. Rachel Bernhardt got hit in the face, and so did Charles Molyneux, right? That's some of y'all peers. This is a real story. These are facts, right? This is what militarization does. Now, when you have peaceful protesters with no guns, no knife, no gym star, no razor blade at the cops, and this, that, and the third, they don't even have water balloons. They don't even have super soakers. Super soakers 50 to 500. They don't have none of that. So why is it that the cops could double up and pull out huge guns that are extremely dangerous, creating an environment that's hyper volatile, and that's okay? And this is supported by the federal government. So $7.2 billion in funding for this purpose has been given. Media, if you don't know this, you're slipping. In our neighborhood, we say you're tripping. So this is the problem, and this is, to answer your question on your microphone, this is what the city needs to understand. And just like Leticia said, what kind of apology is this when you guys messed up? The city messed up. The chief messed up. The lovely Warren messed up. And a host of other actors in a very, very, very weak B movie that you can find at Redbox or something similar to that. This is the problem.
George Floyd is light.
There we go, brother. That's right. You in that Galaxy phone, brother.
So what do you think about protesters throwing water bottles, rocks, and fireworks? We know some officers were injured during that. Is your plan to injure officers, or?
Well, my plan is to give a reverse, clever, witty retort to your question and simply point out the fact that the climate of violence is created largely by the Rochester Police Department, and their bosses are the chief of police. Their bosses, in many ways, because the government, the federal government supports them by way of funding, is the current president. So take that answer, my brother, to your question. So the point is, they're creating the climate, and we're just kind of protecting ourselves as we have a peaceful message. And then, according to the New York State Constitution and the federal Constitution, we have a right to assembly. So make sure you print that. and put it in all caps.
A black-owned business was destroyed yesterday by a fire during the protest. What do you want to say about that?
I have nothing to say about that. You speak to the people that may have did that, and if you don't got that intel, oh well.
It wasn't during the protest.
See, question was out of scope.
Yeah, it didn't happen during the protest.
White dude
I'm
with
sorry.
a firework did
The-
that.
It's a well-known black-owned business, so we know better than to do anything.
There's a white guy with a
We're not
firework.
responsible for everyone who's in the city of Rochester.
There you
And if
go.
you notice what the police did when they seen it, clearly they knew it was a black-owned business, but they really didn't care. They turned right back around when they seen it on fire. So they probably did it. We're gonna blame it on the police. They burnt down that. The police burnt down a black-owned business last
Body
night.
camera footage a little sooner this time. For
Right.
further investigation.
Please pardon my voice. I just want to say something real quick on behalf of CJI and also myself. I love Black Excellence. I just want to talk about what actually happens during these protests, during these rallies. There's a lot of education. There's a lot of peace. There's a lot of solidarity. You have a city full of vibrant, zealous leaders, from organizations to individuals. You heard Leticia speak. You heard Anthony Hall speak. You heard
Justin Morris
speak. You heard Craig Carson speak. You're hearing me speak. We have organizations that are coming together in unity and solidarity. I've been there on the forefront, pushing the people forward in song and meditation and love, reminding them of why we're here. Daniel Prude, seeking justice. And we got a piece of that with Leticia James picking up the case. However, we all know the extra demands. We all know when we come together what we can do. These are the cities. These are literally our streets. We pay tax dollars. We keep each other safe. We have all been in different positions during these protests, keeping citizens safe. We are not just Rochesterians here. I'm a Buffalonian myself. We have people from Binghamton coming out. We have people from downstate coming out. We have visitors here outraged, standing in solidarity with us. We have a duty to protect each other. We have a duty to show love and support to one another, and that's exactly what we do for one another. I do this all day, every day, as a criminal defense attorney and an activist. I give my life and passion to supporting people because that's all that matters. We are the people, and we have to represent each other in the best light possible. What you're seeing here is the cream of the crop, and we're asking for us all to rise up. Rise up and take responsibility for your communities. Rise up and take responsibility for your family. Honestly, the police are not the only one that failed Mr. Prude. Black people are not taken care of in the health system. He went to the hospital before police met him. They released him within 3 hours. Anyone with vision can see that something was wrong. The healthcare system doesn't care about black people. They don't take our ailments serious. They're not culturally in line with us. They over-medicate us, and they don't properly report our ailments, period. So what we have to do is utilize what's in our community, and you're seeing it right in front of you. Rely on the community, because the community is going to rely on each other to get this thing done right.
Now, I do have a question. I know you get this question a lot. Now, people get this question a lot. How do you feel about the black-on-black crime that's happening in the city?
Well, let me respond to that. I know a lot of people would like to respond to that. You as a black man, you know, I understand that you have to ask the question. However, that question, let me give the education behind that question. That question typically comes out of someone who doesn't look like you, someone who is white, because they want to, again, take that opportunity to change the narrative. That is a total separate issue, and that is an issue not only in this nation, but all around the world. Also, we have statistics. Those statistics don't match that theory, all right? And honestly, the police department doesn't respond to preventative measures of that. They're not coming to prevent that. They're coming for property damage, to prevent businesses from going out of business. It has nothing to do with black lives. So the black-on-black crime is an issue you'll see all across the country, all across the world, just like you'll see white-on-white crimes, just like you'll see domestic violence. Again, we are overpopulated in the criminal justice system, all right? The numbers are not what the theory holds.
So
That
also,
is a false narrative.
Also, I want to interject with my sister, and you have to understand something. When white boys do mass shootings, they get detained.
Assault rifles.
They get detained. They get detained, and they go out to lunch. They get accommodated. When black boys and black boys kill each other, we go to prison. We go to prison. This is the justice system. 3 cops killed a man.
On camera.
On camera. What the hell else we need to see?
That's it.
The mayor failed us, the chief failed us. The county executive has been quiet since this has came out.
Yep.
And we're tired. These vigilantes, these rogue cops, these hate-mongering, racist bigots that's a part of RPD and within this community, we don't want them no more. If you want crime by proximity or black on black crime to stop, give us our damn money. Give us our money. 16 million is going down the drain right behind us. The mayor knew that Daniel lost his life, and she still pushed this.
Right.
But mental health facilities can't get funded.
We have a duty. We have a duty as a people, understanding that yes, we are fighting for our blackness, but you all, you journalists, you white folks, you Asian folks, you Hispanic folks, you all have to get in this fight with us.
Arabs, let's go.
Because you know why? This is a human issue.
Everyone.
Human rights.
We are dying at alarming rates by people we pay.
Yes.
No way in hell this should happen.
And the fact that they got the money and the power, they get to change the story. Now, I done been in the community and I done been talking to people for the last couple of days. And they say, it's a shame what they doing out there, tearing up the community, tearing up their own. But on Friday night, I witnessed us walk down East Avenue, Park Avenue, and Alexander. And they went in the bars and they told those people, yo, listen, come outside with us or go home. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't eat, you can't drink if we can't live and we can't breathe. You can't be comfortable in the city if we can't be comfortable in the city. And them people came out of the bars and they joined us. They came out of their houses and they joined us. But that crowd started at half of the capacity that it ended.
And that's not a narrative that was put out there by media. That wasn't the narrative that was put forth, that people came out of bars in homes. In homes.
Get it together.
Get it right.
Or y'all gonna be prohibited from any type of press conferences.
And to address your question, or your response rather, when you said that you're forced to answer, or you have to ask these questions, you don't have to ask those questions.
Tell
You in
them.
this fight just like we in this fight.
Tell them.
And if you feel like you're forced to ask those questions, then you come see me and I'll get you another job where you don't gotta ask those questions.
This is the leadership we need.
And to answer your other question, what are we trying to accomplish? Hold that sign up, bro. For anybody that's ambivalent in terms of what we're trying to accomplish, it's loud and clear. It's justice for Daniel Prude. We're not unclear about that. We know what the message is. We know what we're here to accomplish. That man was murdered on the streets of Rochester. His blood is still crying out for justice. We don't care that they pepper spraying us. That ain't gonna stop us from coming around.
Only after 11 when their feet get tired.
Ain't nothing gonna stop us from showing up every single day protesting. We protest, we're gonna protest more, we're gonna protest today, we're gonna protest tomorrow until justice is served. And if he ain't served, we're gonna be right on these streets.
What do you mean the media, I don't know if you want to answer this question, but how does the media, the news stations like 8 and Channel 10, how is this being stirred up and put in a different narrative?
Because they control the media.
They know they're journalists and they know what they do. They have, as a journalist, you have a duty to report accurate information. Y'all out there, report the goddamn accurate information. We don't have to tell you what to say. You're out there. You're there every day. You know what you're seeing. You know it's not agitators. 1 or 2 people, and let's be frank, myself, I've been charged to make sure agitators that are doing stuff that we don't want in the protest, we get them out of there. We get them out of there.
Safe. We keep ourselves safe.
That's not being reported. We have a group of men that's going through the protest, making sure agitators are not in there. So stop with the nonsense. So any more questions from anybody?
Stop asking questions for them, bro.
You got a question?
Guys, you know what? I forgot to say this earlier. I had to take a walk. I was a little upset and emotional. But the most important part of my speech was probably this. To the community, thank you so much. You guys are showing up. your show. And now we can't even have a news conference because y'all know Black Lives Matter. You come, you chant, you stand for hours, you're patient. There's so many of you. You're peaceful. You supply one another. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
We don't need you here bullying us. It's a beautiful thing. If you haven't got a chance to be a part of it, don't worry. We'll be here every day.
Yeah.
We'll be here every day. You got a chance again tonight. We'll see you soon. And thank you so much. We love you guys back. We appreciate you so much. And we're going to get justice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got a question?
On Saturday, the Attorney General, is going to bring Daniel Prude's homicide to the grand jury.
Yeah.
What is your response to that? Do you think? I know you mentioned that, from the people coming out, showing up.
We did that.
Yeah, you guys did that.
Something to be proud of. Rochester as a whole should be proud of that.
That's a fact.
Rochester as a whole should be proud of that. The inner city should be proud of that. Monroe County should be proud of that. We thank our allies coming from all over. We should take pride in that. Leticia James, please make us proud. Thank you.
Also, we really, once Leticia James do come, there's so many other cases that have been hidden that I feel that they really should do a full investigation and dig it up, because there was judges and people who were participating in this type of stuff, and those who maybe they didn't know better. But we need to dig up these stories. We need to find out what happened to these people, because it's a lot of people who cannot get the justice that they want. And when someone does take a life from somebody, normally you're supposed to take care, provide remedy for that family. You have to provide, because that person may had a life, they might have been a billionaire, you took that chance away from them. So to take someone's chance of their life, liberty, pursuit of happiness is inhumane. And so this is a human rights violation, and this has been a human rights violation against our people, period. Regardless if we want to call ourselves black, colored, Negro, African American, we are not their property, we are not their chattel, and we're not going to be 14th Amendment citizens, because by their law they say we cannot be U.S. citizens. We are Americans.
What's his name?
Daniel Prude.
What's his name?
Daniel Prude.
That's why we're here, man. That's why we're here. And it's not going to change. It's not going to change. We want justice. The family wants justice. He deserves justice. No more questions?
It's so exhausting and tiring. We got to take care of our own selves. So this is long enough, guys. We
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
If it's possible, to the people that speak, maybe come up and say and spell their names, just so we can credit you.
Anthony Hall, ANTHONY, HALL.
Aquila Savanelle Bay, AQUEELAH, Sovereign SOVEREIGNLEL, Bay BEY.
Abdul Hadi El Bay, ABDULHADIELBEY.
Justin Morris, JUSTINMORRIS.
Catherine Ujamadu, CATHERINE, EJIMADU. I love black excellence. Criminal defense attorney / activist. Thank you.
Morris Moore, MORRIS MOORE. Craig D. Carson, CRAIG D. Carson, just like Johnny, CARSON. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for coming out, people. Enjoy your afternoon.